The tranquil sound of waves lapping against the shore fills the air, creating a gentle symphony that seems to call out to those weary of the world's chaos. Have you ever paused to listen to the ocean's lullaby, allowing its rhythm to wash over you and carry you away from your worries? In the heart of a quaint coastal village named Serene Bay, where time appears to slow down and the worries of life fade like footprints in the sand, the ocean sings a soothing tune that beckons to the lost and restless. Mira, a young artist with a wild mane of chestnut hair and eyes that reflect the hues of the sea, stands at the edge of the beach. The soft, golden light of the setting sun wraps around her, casting a warm glow on her freckled cheeks. She has come to Serene Bay seeking solace from the relentless pace of city life, where deadlines loom like storm clouds and creativity feels like a distant memory. The salty breeze tussles her hair, pulling her thoughts away from the chaos she left behind, if only for a moment. As she gazes at the horizon, the sun dips low, painting the sky in soft pastels of pink and lavender. Each wave that breaks upon the shore seems to whisper secrets of serenity, inviting her to dip her toes into the cool, inviting waters. The scent of salt and seaweed fills her lungs, grounding her in this moment of tranquility. Yet the weight of her worries clings to her like the dampness of the ocean air. Mira's heart aches for inspiration, but the stress of her life is a heavy anchor, holding her back from drifting into the creative depths she longs to explore. In the distance, she spots a familiar figure, Liam, the local fisherman whose weathered hands tell stories of countless sunrises and sunsets spent at sea. He is a friend and a kindred spirit, someone who knows the ocean's secrets better than anyone else in the village. As he walks towards her, his sun-kissed skin glows with the warmth of the day, and his blue eyes sparkle with a wisdom that comes from years of listening to the ocean's tales. "Mira," he calls out, his voice as calm as the waters he navigates. "What brings you to the shore this evening?" "I needed to escape," she replies, the vulnerability in her tone revealing the turmoil within. "The city feels so loud, and I can't seem to find my inspiration." Liam nods knowingly, understanding the weight of her words. "The ocean has a way of calming the storm inside. Come, let's walk along the pier. I have stories to share, and perhaps the sea will whisper some inspiration to you." As they stroll together, the wooden planks creak beneath their feet, harmonizing with the rhythmic sound of the waves. Mira watches as the sun sinks lower, its golden light shimmering on the water's surface, creating a path of light that stretches towards the horizon. She feels the tension in her shoulders begin to ease, the worries of deadlines and expectations fading with each step she takes away from her past. Liam shares tales of his adventures at sea, of the mornings when the ocean is calm and the sky is painted with the soft hues of dawn. His words flow like the tide, weaving images of distant islands and the gentle sway of boats on peaceful waters. With each story, Mira can almost feel the salt spray on her skin and hear the calls of seabirds soaring overhead. She begins to forget the burdens that have been pressing down on her heart, allowing herself to be captivated by the beauty that surrounds her. But as they reach the end of the pier, the weight of reality crashes back in. Mira's mind races with thoughts of her art projects waiting for her return, the unfinished canvases that stare back at her in her cluttered studio. She feels a pang of guilt for wanting to embrace this moment, yet the fear of losing her creative spark looms larger than the vast ocean before her. "Sometimes it's hard to find the balance," Mira admits, her voice barely above a whisper. "I want to be here, but I also need to create. How do I do both?" Liam pauses, looking out at the endless blue before them. "You have to give yourself permission to breathe. The ocean teaches us that ebb and flow is a natural part of life. Allow yourself to be inspired by this place and let it guide your art. Creativity can't be forced. It flows like the tide." As the sun dips below the horizon, casting a final blaze of color across the sky, Mira feels a flicker of hope ignite within her. Perhaps this escape to Serene Bay isn't just a retreat, but a necessary step towards rediscovering herself. The ocean's lullaby continues to play, wrapping around her like a comforting blanket, urging her to let go of her fears and trust in the journey ahead. With each gentle wave that kisses the shore, Mira realizes that she is not alone. The ocean is there to cradle her dreams, and with Liam by her side, she begins to understand that sometimes the best inspiration comes from simply being present, allowing the world to unfold around her. Now, as the stars begin to twinkle overhead, Mira takes a deep breath, filling her lungs with the salty air, and closes her eyes for a moment. She allows the sounds of the waves and the warmth of the evening breeze to envelop her, embracing the tranquil moment as she prepares to find her path among the tides of creativity and calm. As Mira stepped onto the soft, warm sand of Serene Bay, the world around her seemed to melt into a canvas of calm. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden hue over the water, creating a shimmering pathway that danced invitingly toward the horizon. Each wave that rolled gently onto the shore whispered secrets of the deep, reminding her of the childhood days spent by the ocean's edge, where imagination flowed as freely as the tide. With each step, Mira inhaled deeply, allowing the salty air to fill her lungs. The scent of the sea, mingled with the faint aroma of blooming wildflowers from the nearby dunes, wrapped around her like a comforting embrace. She closed her eyes for a moment, letting the soothing sound of the ocean wash over her, feeling the warmth of the sun kiss her skin. It was here, in this serene place, that she hoped to find the inspiration that had eluded her for so long. As she wandered along the shore, Mira's fingers brushed against the smooth surfaces of small shells and cool stones, each piece a fragment of the ocean's history. She paused to pick up a delicate starfish, its tiny arms stretched wide, as if to greet her. Holding it up to the light, she marveled at its beauty, the intricate patterns and the soft hues of pink and orange. It reminded her of the creative spark she once felt so vividly, long before the weight of urban life began to dull her senses. "Hey, Mira!" a familiar voice called out, breaking the spell of her reverie. It was Liam, his sun-kissed skin glistening with droplets of seawater, a fishing net slung casually over his shoulder. He approached with a warm smile, his presence a tether to this world of calm. "Hi, Liam," she replied, her voice light, though a hint of a sigh escaped her lips. "I was just thinking about how much I used to love spending time by the ocean." Liam nodded, his gaze shifting to the waves. "It has a way of bringing back memories, doesn't it? The sound, the smell. It's like the ocean remembers us, too." He picked up a shell from the sand, turning it over in his hands. "I often think about all the people who have walked this beach before us, leaving behind their worries, if only for a moment." Mira looked into his eyes, finding solace in the understanding that radiated from him. "Sometimes I feel like I'm drowning in my own worries. The city feels so far away, yet it haunts me here." "Then let it go," Liam encouraged, his voice steady and soothing. "Find peace in the present. You're here now, at Serene Bay. Let the ocean lull you into clarity." As they walked together, Mira felt a flicker of hope igniting within her. The sun dipped lower, painting the sky with strokes of pink and violet, and the soft glow of dusk began to descend upon the bay. The world felt still, yet her mind buzzed with thoughts of deadlines and obligations that awaited her return to the city. "Liam," she began, hesitating as the words tangled in her mind. "I have a project to finish back home. I should be focusing on it, but I can't seem to find the right inspiration. It's like the more I try, the further away it slips." He glanced at her, his brow furrowing slightly in concern. "What if you let the pressure fade away for just a moment? Create without the weight of expectation. Just let the ocean guide you." Mira paused, letting his words sink in. The ocean's gentle rhythm seemed to echo her own heartbeat, each wave reminding her of the importance of surrendering to the flow of life. Yet the nagging thoughts of her responsibilities loomed like dark clouds on the horizon.
I wish it were that easy, she admitted, glancing back at the distant outline of the town. I feel like I have to prove myself, to show that I can make it in the art world, but every time I pick up a brush, it's like I'm staring into a void. Maybe you need to step back, Liam suggested, his voice calm like the sea. You can't force creativity. Sometimes it's about capturing the moment, not the end result. What do you see when you look at the sea? Mira turned her gaze back to the water, watching as the waves rose and fell with a graceful rhythm, their surface glistening under the soft light of the twilight sky. I see beauty, freedom, she trailed off, lost in thought. Exactly, Liam replied, his tone encouraging. Let that inspire you. The ocean doesn't worry about what comes next. It simply exists in the moment. You can do the same.
As they continued their stroll, Mira found herself captivated by the way the light danced on the surface of the water, the sound of the waves becoming a soothing lullaby that pulled at her heartstrings. Perhaps there was a way to balance her obligations without losing the essence of who she was. Yet, even as she took in the beauty surrounding her, the shadows of doubt crept back in. The pressure to succeed weighed heavily on her shoulders, a constant reminder of what awaited her in the bustling city. She could almost hear the faint echo of her art instructor urging her to create something groundbreaking, something that would finally cement her place in the art world. Mira, Liam's voice broke through her tangled thoughts, pulling her back to the present. Have you ever thought about painting the ocean? His question hung in the air, and she looked at him, her mind racing. I've never really tried. I always thought it would be too daunting. How do you capture something so vast, so powerful? It's not about capturing the whole, he replied, gesturing to the horizon. It's about the details, the colors, the movement, the way the light reflects off the water. Focus on one wave at a time, one color at a time. Let it flow. The wisdom in his words resonated deeply within her. Perhaps it was time to step away from the pressure of perfection and immerse herself in the beauty of the moment, to paint the ocean as it was, dynamic and ever-changing. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the beach, Mira felt a sense of calm wash over her. She smiled at Liam, gratitude swelling in her heart. "Thank you, Liam. I think I needed to hear that." "Anytime," he replied, his eyes twinkling in the fading light. "Remember, the ocean is always here for you, just like I am. You're not alone in this." Mira took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her worries begin to lift, if only slightly. The ocean's lullaby continued to play softly in the background, wrapping around her like a gentle blanket. As they walked back towards the village, the first stars began to twinkle in the deepening sky, casting a soft light over the world. Mira's heart felt lighter, and for the first time in a long while, she could see a path forward. Before they parted ways, Liam turned to her with a warm smile. "Make sure to come to the beach tomorrow. I think you'll find the perfect inspiration waiting for you." "I will," she promised, a spark igniting within her.
I'll be here. As Mira made her way back to her temporary home in Serene Bay, the sounds of the ocean filled her ears, echoing the rhythm of her heart. She knew the journey to rediscover her creativity would not be without its challenges, but she felt a flicker of hope that perhaps the ocean's lullaby could guide her back to herself. And as she settled into bed that night, the soft sound of the waves crashing against the shore lulled her into a tranquil state, whispering promises of new beginnings and the beauty of simply being. If you find solace in the ocean's embrace as Mira does, join us on this journey of discovery. Subscribe to our channel for more stories that inspire peace and creativity. Together, let's explore the gentle waves of imagination and the soothing whispers of the sea. Now, let your thoughts drift away and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. The evening air hung thick with the salty scent of the ocean, each breath Mira took filling her lungs with a sense of calm that felt almost foreign after the chaos of city life. The rhythmic sound of waves crashing against the shore composed a gentle lullaby, echoing her heartbeat, soothing the restless thoughts that had plagued her since she arrived in Serene Bay. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in soft hues of lavender and orange, Mira felt a knot of anxiety tighten in her chest. She stood at the water's edge, her toes sinking into the cool, damp sand, contemplating the conversation she was about to have with Liam. Liam, the local fisherman, had become a confidant of sorts, a friend who spoke with the kind of wisdom that only comes from a life spent in harmony with nature. He approached her now, his silhouette framed against the fading light, his familiar grin illuminating the dimming beach. As he neared, she could see the lines of laughter etched on his sun-kissed face, but there was something deeper in his eyes, a glimmer that hinted at understanding and perhaps a touch of worry. "Mira," he called softly, his voice blending seamlessly with the gentle sea breeze. "Are you ready for our walk?" She nodded, though her heart raced. They began their stroll along the shoreline, the cool water lapping at their ankles, a delicate reminder of the ocean's presence. Mira's thoughts swirled, a tempest of doubt and fear. Here, in this tranquil corner of the world, she had found fleeting moments of serenity, but the weight of her unmade decisions loomed larger than the vastness of the sea. "Tell me," Liam said, his tone inviting, "what's on your mind? You seem far away tonight." Mira glanced up at the sky, now an inky canvas dotted with twinkling stars. "It's just, I've been thinking about my life back in the city," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know if I can go back to that. Every day feels like a battle to carve out a place for myself in a world that doesn't seem to want me." Liam paused, turning to face her fully, his expression serious. "You have to follow your heart," he said, the sincerity in his voice anchoring her. "I chose this life out here, fishing, because it brings me joy. Sometimes it's not about what you're expected to do, but what makes you feel alive." Mira bit her lip, the enormity of his words crashing over her like the waves at their feet. "But I have responsibilities," she insisted, her voice trembling with the weight of her internal conflict. "I have a career to think about, a future that depends on my success as an artist. What if I fail?" His gaze softened, and he took a step closer, the warmth radiating from him a stark contrast to the cool night air. "What if you don't?" he countered gently. "What if you find success in the most unexpected places, in moments that make your heart swell? Sometimes you have to let go of the fear of failure to truly discover what you're capable of." The words hung in the air, heavy with meaning. Mira felt a flicker of hope ignite within her, but it was quickly overshadowed by the storm of anxiety that raged in her mind. The city, with its relentless pace and endless expectations, loomed large in her thoughts. She could almost hear the sounds of car horns and chatter, the frenetic energy that had once fueled her creativity now feeling suffocating. As they walked further, the moon rose high above the horizon, casting a silvery glow over the water. The ocean shimmered like 1,000 diamonds, each wave reflecting a light that seemed to pulse with possibility. Mira paused, captivated by the beauty of the moment, and for a brief second she felt her worries wash away with the tide. "Look at that," she breathed, her eyes glued to the horizon. "It's so beautiful here. I can't help but feel drawn to it." Liam smiled, his eyes sparkling with understanding. "The ocean has a way of speaking to those who listen. It tells stories of resilience, of change, of beginnings and endings. It invites you to step into the unknown, to embrace what lies ahead without fear." Mira's heart raced at the thought. Could she really find peace in the unknown? Just as she was about to voice her thoughts, a sudden wave crashed violently against the shore, sending a spray of salty water up around them. She stumbled back, startled, and laughed nervously, the tension in her body momentarily lifting. "See?" Liam chuckled, the sound rich and warm. "Even the ocean knows how to shake things up." But as the laughter faded, the gravity of their conversation returned. "Liam," she said, her voice now steady but laced with uncertainty, "what if I'm not meant for this life? What if my art doesn't resonate? What if I'm just lost?" He stepped closer, his expression earnest. Being lost is part of the journey. It's how we discover who we are. I didn't always know I wanted to be a fisherman. I was once caught in the cycle of a mundane job, just like you. But one day, I found myself at the pier, watching the boats sway with the tide. That's when I knew I had to take the leap. Mira's breath hitched, and she felt the warmth of his words sink deep within her. "What did you do?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. "I took a chance," he replied, his gaze unwavering. "I left the safety of a stable job to pursue fishing full-time. And while it wasn't easy, it led me to a life filled with purpose. Sometimes the most beautiful paths are paved with uncertainty." At that moment, Mira felt a whirlwind of emotions rise within her: fear, hope, and a longing for freedom. The ocean's lullaby swelled with intensity, mirroring the chaos in her heart. She thought of the gallery openings, the expectations, the constant pressure to conform. Would pursuing her passion be worth the risk, or would it lead to heartbreak and disappointment? "Liam," she said, her voice trembling, "I don't know if I have the courage to choose this path. The thought of failing terrifies me." He placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder, grounding her. "It's okay to be afraid. It means you care. But don't let fear dictate your life. If you let it, it will hold you back from everything you're meant to be. Find what sets your soul on fire and chase it." As his words settled in the air, Mira felt a flicker of understanding begin to illuminate her thoughts. Perhaps the true failure lay in not trying at all, in letting her fears control her destiny. The ocean's whispers grew louder, beckoning her to let go of the past and embrace the present. Suddenly, a dark shadow passed overhead, and she looked up, squinting at the sky. A flock of birds soared above them, silhouetted against the moonlight. They flew in a perfect V formation, graceful and free, each one following the leader without hesitation. "Look at them," Mira said, her heart swelling as she watched the birds glide effortlessly through the night sky. "They're so free." "Yes," Liam agreed, his gaze following the birds. "They know where they're going, even if we don't. It's a reminder that we're all part of something bigger, something beautiful." In that moment, a realization washed over Mira, as powerful as the waves crashing against the shore. She didn't need to have everything figured out. Life was not about certainty, but about exploration, about embracing the unexpected. The ocean was a world of endless possibilities, an invitation to dive into the depths of her own desires and dreams. With newfound clarity, she turned to Liam, her voice trembling with emotion. I think I want to pursue my art, to truly dedicate myself to it, no matter where that leads me." Liam's smile was radiant, illuminating the darkness around them. "That's the spirit, Mira. Trust yourself and the journey ahead. You'll find your way." As they continued their walk, the moonlight danced on the water, creating a path that shimmered like silver. Mira felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. The tension that had once gripped her heart began to ease, replaced by a warm glow of possibility. The ocean's lullaby wrapped around her like a comforting embrace, filling her with a sense of peace she hadn't felt in a long time. But just as she began to fully embrace this new perspective, a sudden chill swept through the air, sending shivers down her spine. Mira paused, glancing at Liam, who had stopped walking, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "What is it?" she asked, her voice laced with concern. "It's just," he hesitated, his brow furrowing. "I think I see something out there, something unusual." Mira followed his gaze, squinting into the distance. A dark shape bobbed on the water, moving closer to the shore. Her heart raced, a mix of curiosity and apprehension flooding her senses. "What do you think it is?" Liam squinted harder, his expression shifting from intrigue to concern. "I'm not sure, but it doesn't look like a boat. It's too low in the water. The two stood in silence, watching as the shape continued to approach, the ocean's lullaby momentarily quieting as if holding its breath. Just then, a wave crashed against the shore, sending a spray of water into the air. Mira gasped, stepping back as a sudden realization dawned on her. "Liam, it looks like a person," she exclaimed, her voice rising in urgency. "There's someone in the water." Without a second thought, Liam dashed toward the shoreline, determination etched on his face. "Stay back, Mira. I'll check it out." Mira's heart pounded in her chest as she watched him sprint into the water. The ocean, once a symbol of peace, now felt unpredictable and threatening. She felt torn between the desire to help and the instinct to stay safe. The calm of the evening shattered by the urgency of the moment. As Liam reached the dark shape, Mira could see the outline of a struggling figure. Panic surged within her, and she took a step forward, but something held her back. The gravity of their earlier conversation, the understanding that life's paths often took unexpected turns. But as she stood there, uncertainty clawing at her heart, she realized this was a moment of truth. The ocean, with all its beauty and chaos, had brought her to this point. Perhaps it was time to embrace the unknown fully. "Liam," she called out, her voice cutting through the night air. "Be careful." He turned briefly, his expression a mix of determination and focus. "I'm okay, just stay back." The waves lapped more aggressively at the shore as Mira watched anxiously, her heart racing, the world narrowing to the struggle unfolding before her. She felt the weight of every choice she had ever made press down on her, the fear of the unknown battling with the desire to step into the chaos and take action. And then, in a heartbeat, she made her decision. With each step she took toward the water, the ocean roared louder, as if urging her on. She felt the cool water engulf her feet, then her ankles, and finally, as she waded deeper, her knees. The chill sent a thrill through her, awakening her senses to the world around her. She was alive, and in that moment, she understood what Liam had meant about following her heart. As she reached Liam, she could see the figure more clearly now. A young man, struggling against the current, panic etched across his face. Together, they pulled him toward the shore, the strength of their combined efforts breaking through the waves that threatened to push them back. Finally, with one last surge, they brought him to safety, collapsing onto the sand, gasping for air. The young man sputtered and coughed, the ocean's water spilling from his mouth as he looked up at them, bewildered and grateful. "Thank you," he managed to choke out, his eyes wide with shock. "I thought I was going to drown." Mira's heart swelled with a mix of emotions, relief, gratitude, and an understanding that this was what it meant to be alive, to embrace the chaos and beauty of life. The ocean had tested her resolve, pushing her to confront her fears and step into the unknown. Liam lay beside her on the sand, breathless but smiling. "You did it, Mira. You faced the uncertainty." As the stars twinkled above, the ocean's lullaby resumed in the background, a gentle reminder of the ebb and flow of life. Mira realized that she could embrace the unknown, that her journey was just beginning. And as she looked at the young man they had saved, she knew that sometimes it was in the moments of chaos that the most profound transformations occurred. With the ocean as her witness, Mira understood that acceptance and courage would guide her forward. She had found her voice, her inspiration, and, more importantly, a newfound appreciation for the journey ahead. The path may be uncertain, but the ocean's lullaby would always be there to guide her home. "Now," she murmured softly, her heart finally at peace, "let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams." Mira stood on the shore, the tranquil sound of waves lapping gently against the golden sands, wrapping around her like a warm, comforting blanket. The sun dipped low on the horizon, painting the sky in soft pastels, pinks, oranges, and purples swirling together in a breathtaking canvas. Each splash of color reflected in her eyes, igniting a spark of inspiration deep within her.
She felt a sense of peace envelop her, as if the ocean was whispering secrets of creativity and calm that she had long forgotten. In the days that followed her heartfelt conversation with Liam, Mira found herself wandering the beach more frequently. Each step she took became a brushstroke on the canvas of her life. Each grain of sand beneath her feet a reminder of the simplicity she had craved. The worries of her urban life faded like distant echoes, and she began to embrace the beauty of the present moment. As she explored the coastal treasures, delicate seashells, smooth pebbles, and the soft touch of sea foam dancing at her ankles, she gathered inspiration for her art. Mira began to sketch in the golden light of dawn and the soft twilight glow, capturing the essence of Serene Bay in her notebook. With each stroke of her pencil, she felt more alive, more connected to her surroundings. The ocean had become her muse, its lullaby a reminder that creativity flourished in stillness. On a particularly enchanting evening, Mira and Liam sat on the weathered wooden dock, their feet dangling above the water. The stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across a velvet blanket, and the moon cast a silvery glow over the waves, creating a path of light that stretched across the water. Mira turned to Liam, her heart full of gratitude. "Thank you for encouraging me to be here, to find this peace," she said softly. "I never realized how much I needed it." Liam smiled, his eyes reflecting the gentle light of the moon. Sometimes we lose ourselves in the noise of the world. It takes a quiet place, like this, to help us find our way back. You've always had the talent, Mira. The ocean just nudged you to remember it. As they sat in comfortable silence, Mira's mind drifted to her art. She realized that it had been too long since she had painted for the sheer joy of it. The thought of returning to the city, of facing deadlines and expectations, felt less overwhelming now. Instead, she envisioned the vibrant colors of the ocean on her canvas, the soft blues and greens swirling together, echoing the waves' gentle rhythm. The next morning, with a heart full of determination, Mira set up her easel on the beach. The sun was just beginning to rise, the soft hues of dawn illuminating the world around her. She dipped her brush into the paint, the colors vibrant and alive, and began to create. Each stroke felt liberating, a form of meditation as she lost herself in the process. The ocean's lullaby played in the background, its rhythm guiding her hands. Days turned into weeks, and Mira's art flourished. She painted the beauty of Serene Bay, the rocky cliffs, the gentle waves, the vibrant sunsets. Her canvases captured not just the scenery, but the emotions she felt within. Each piece became a reflection of her journey, a testament to her personal growth and the peace she discovered. Mira's heart swelled with joy as she prepared for a small exhibition at the local gallery. The villagers had become her family, supporting her every step of the way. As she hung her paintings on the walls, she felt a surge of nerves and excitement. This was her moment to share her journey, to show the world what the ocean had whispered to her. The night of the exhibition was magical. The gallery was filled with warm light and laughter, the air thick with anticipation. Mira stood beside her work, her heart racing as she watched the villagers admire her paintings. Each compliment felt like a wave of encouragement crashing over her, washing away any lingering doubts. Among the crowd, she spotted Liam, his smile wide and proud. He approached her, his eyes sparkling. "You did it, Mira! This is incredible! You've captured the essence of the ocean beautifully." Tears of happiness welled in her eyes as she embraced him. "I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you for believing in me." As the evening unfolded, Mira began to understand that this moment was not just about her art. It was about the journey she had taken to get here. She had learned to embrace her fears, to find solace in creativity, and to live in the present. The ocean had taught her that peace comes from within, and that it is okay to take a step back to find clarity. As the night drew to a close, Mira felt a profound sense of gratitude wash over her. She stood on the balcony of the gallery, gazing out at the ocean, its gentle waves reflecting the moonlight like a shimmering blanket. The lullaby of the sea sang softly in her ears, reminding her of the beauty that exists in stillness. With a heart full of hope, she made a promise to herself. No matter where life took her, she would always return to Serene Bay, to the ocean that had cradled her dreams and whispered her truths. She would continue to create, to explore, and to share her journey with others, inspiring them to find their own peace and creativity. As you drift off to sleep tonight, let the ocean's lullaby carry you away. Embrace the stillness, and remember that within you lies a world of creativity waiting to bloom. Allow your dreams to flow as freely as the waves, and know that tomorrow holds endless possibilities.
Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. If this story resonated with you, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe for more soothing tales that will guide you into a peaceful slumber. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Sweet dreams await you.